the truth.
Bron, obviously you know that first game back off that trip is never an easy one. How would you quantify how you guys had to earn this one?
When you're playing against a Miami Heat team, coached by Coach Spo, you got to earn it, and we knew that. You know, we seen the way they played last night in Phoenix. We know what they've been doing this year. They're a very good team, you know, and we knew we had to earn it. And that, like you said, that first game off a long road trip, is always difficult getting back home and getting your feet up underneath you. So, but we had to earn this one, and we did that.
Of course, you guys know what they're capable of defensively. When they threw that zone at you, what was the key to figuring out as you guys did?
Just trying to move the ball from side to side and then try to hit the gaps. It took us probably about a quarter and a half, and we started to get a little bit accustomed to it late in that second quarter. And then AD and JaVale, they worked together great in that third quarter. You know, AD shooting his mid-range and getting into the paint. JaVale getting lobs, and then when they didn't have anything, we had some guards cutting into the paint. AC cut for one, KCP cut for one for a layup. So just trying to move it out the ball.
Was this one of the better defensive efforts of the year for you guys? And if it was, why and how?
I mean, to be honest, that's just us, period. That's who we are. We've been doing this all year. We don't expect the whole team, you know, at 80, but we expect to defend every single game and make it tough on teams, try to hold them under their averages, and we did that once again tonight.
Three-point defense in particular was outstanding. How much of a key was that to?
Very key. We know how great of a three-point shooting team they are. They got a lot of lasers. Got a lot of guys that can shoot the ball extremely well, not only from that three-point line, but 2 or 3, 4 steps behind it. So we knew that was going to be very key to our win tonight.
Is it still special for you to play against the Miami Heat?
It's always special. It's always special. I mean, I got so many memories every time I play against Cleveland or Miami, just because of the history.
It's your 35th birthday next month, and you turn 35. You're still putting up monster numbers. The average is 7 across the board in assists, rebounds, and points at that age. What can you attribute your success to?
Wine. You know what they say about great wine, right?
No.
You don't? So anybody want to tell her the age what?
As well.
The age as well. There you go. There you go.
Speaking of wine, Dwayne said he loves you, but he was, of course, rooting for the Heat.
Of course, you see what he wore? He had his Heat red on, like a pimp over there.
What's it like playing in front of him now that obviously he's on the other side?
I mean, it's always great. It's always great for him to come out, man. And you know, obviously we know what he did in his career, phenomenal career. And it's always great to see a friend of mine. Obviously, we're gonna be spending a lot of time together. Our boys on the same high school team, so I'm gonna see him a lot. But for him to come out and obviously represent, you know, the Heat, but you know, for me to play in front of him is always special.
Ron, even though it's a different team and circumstances with him, do you take anything away from how you and Dwayne handle like the co-leadership dynamic and how that might apply to you and Anthony this season?
No, every situation is different. Every situation is different. So that's a different time. And this is a different time.
You're more of a process guy than a results guy, but what does it say about your team's defense so far? You hold Miami to 34 points in the second half.
You know, we didn't want to be just a group that talked about it. We want to be a group to be about it as well. And we're going to hang our heads defensively until our offense catch up with us. And it's going to be one of these games where our offense will catch up, and it will be scary, you know. But until then, we got to, you know, intimidate people on the defensive end and make our mark there. But it's just fun. It's just fun getting stops, multiple stops, making it tough on opponents, and you know, just cherishing that side of the floor.
Ron, you tweeted or social media the Washed King thing a few times. What kind of satisfaction are you taking that you've come back from injury and been able to play at this level, especially?
It's just my personal. It's my personal motivation. You know, I'm extra motivated to. You know, put myself in a position where I know I belong. You know, so it's my personal motivation every single night I step on the floor to be, you know, to be great. You know, I know the summer that I had. I know the rehab that I had with my, you know, with my growing. I know how much, you know. I mean, I shot Space Jam for 3 months all summer. You know, and my call times every morning was at 6:30 in the morning, and I was in the gym at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning before shooting for 12, 13, 14 hours. If you follow me, you've probably seen it a couple times. So, you know, I just know how much I put into my craft. I know what the main thing is. Even when I was shooting the movie, I know what was most important, and that's me, you know, getting ready for the fall. And I always had that in the front of my mind. So, you know, it's just my personal, you know, it's my personal pressure that I'm putting on myself, which is I don't really believe in pressure much, but you know I believe in myself and I know what I'm capable of.
How much of that is drawn from the idea that there were people this summer more than ever wondering if you were washed?
Well, I don't know, man. You know, meet me at the cleaners.
Last question, please. Kind of feeding off of Dave, obviously you guys are having a lot of success playing downhill, getting to the rim, but what would you attribute, I know it's early, the slower start as a team from beyond the arc?
I don't know. We got to just make them, knock them down. I don't like leading the team in three-pointers made. It's corny. I don't, Ali, I don't know. We will get it going. We will get it going. One thing about it, if your offense is behind your defense, then you're a really, really good team. And I'm okay with that right now in the early season, that the fact that we can hang our hats defensively and wait for the offense to pick up. But we got some great three-point shooters. They're getting great looks. We're all getting great looks. And we will have one of those games where we make 15, 20, and it'll be a special night.
Frank, is that the idea just behind the defense being consistent? So if you're going against an opponent that's tough defensively, you don't have it on a night that you can find a way to win?
That's the plan. When you have a great defense, your offense can come and go. They're a great defensive team that we played against tonight. I think fourth in the league or third in the league, right behind us in defensive rating, and they junked the game up with some different coverages. But our guys played through it, had a lot of open looks early. But when the looks weren't falling, our defense kept us in the game, and our defense in the second half to hold a team in the modern era to 34 points, a 6-2 team. Just super impressed with our guys' commitment, their execution, and everything about their defense. So our analytics guys sent us a report that we contested 88% of their shots throughout the game. I don't know if I've ever heard of that, but that was just a really exceptional effort on the defensive end for our guys.
Do you do anything differently in the second half against that zone just to open it up a little bit and get some?
We executed better, and we threw a couple looks out there, a couple of different looks of the same type of thing. But we really just cleaned up our spacing at halftime. We worked on a little bit in our walkthrough prior to the game, but it's one of those things that you don't see a lot. So it takes sometimes it takes a quarter or two to figure it out, and then we got whatever we wanted in the second half.
Frank, how about Anthony Davis's skill set in particular in the middle of that zone once he got the ball, kind of the high post?
He and LeBron both. We were just trying to get those guys, open on flashes. They were kind of stagnant, waiting for the ball rather than flashing in there. And when you put the ball in those guys' hands in the middle of the paint like that, with shooters all around, they're able to make great plays.
Frank, there was at least one preseason game and a couple games, I think, in the preseason where Anthony had some really great passing nights, and this might be one of the first ones where we've seen sort of the full potential. What's been the difference tonight? Is he warming up a little bit?
I think our whole team, part of our film sessions every day and part of everything we do in our shoot-arounds is to work on extra pass basketball. This is part of the identity we're trying to create, is going to be a team that plays for each other, that strives for assisted shots versus create your own shots. And, the message is being brought to our whole team, not just Anthony or LeBron, to our whole team, that's how we want to play. And, we didn't shoot the ball very well tonight, but we had 30 assists. We shoot the ball well, we're probably at 40 assists, and, Anthony's looking at probably a triple-double. But, he's sharing the ball well. LeBron's sharing the ball well. Everybody's trying to buy into playing extra pass basketball, and it's gonna work for us.
Frank, considering all the new players, the new staff, are you surprised that the defense has been this good, this fast? That's usually takes a while.
Maybe a little bit, but I had high expectations about what we could be, and because we have a lot of experience on our coaching staff. We know how to put in a system schematically that will work for us, and we have a lot of defensive talent, and the question mark was, what's our care factor going to be like early in the season, and how quickly is it going to take for it to come together. And, because the care factor has been high, it's come together pretty quickly.
Frank, not to suggest that you're at this point yet or even close to it, but is there a point during a season when a good defensive team needs the offense to sort of just start coming, just to keep that kind of energy and enthusiasm up on that side of the ball?
Yeah, yesterday. We want it to happen right away. You know, we're probably working more on our offense than our defense right now. And, you know, just trying to get a little bit more rhythm and, you know, getting extra shots for guys. But I wasn't too displeased with the shots we were getting. We're getting a lot of clean looks that we didn't knock down. And, like I said, we knocked those down. It's a different ballgame.
Like in that fourth quarter, I think LeBron had 12 points, and he was pretty much attacking. What's it mean for you guys to have him on the attack like that, knowing that he can get you through a grind game like this?
I mean, the guy's incredible. He's given it his all to this team and, you know, really impacting both ends of the floor. And the biggest impact probably is how he's just setting a tone. You know, he's setting a tone for our group with how hard he's playing on defense, how willing he is to pass the basketball offensively. And, you know, obviously he's got the ability to make big shots in the clutch. And, you know, so, I mean, the guy's just incredible. And he's bringing a lot to our team for sure.
Frank, you guys really were able to have some success against that zone without making threes. But is there a point where you get concerned about three-point shooting at all? Is there a point where it needs to come along just to open some things up?
No, I worry about the quality of shots, you know, and you know we're still taking a few too many bad ones, quick ones, and not trusting the pass as much as we should, and you know that will come. You know we're continuing to talk about it, work on our execution and our patience, but when we improve our shot quality, that you know the percentage will go up for sure.
Frank, I think LeBron had 5 points in the first half, and it wasn't like he wasn't looking for a shot in the first half, but there have been a lot of games where he has been very differential in the first half, and this was the game where I think in the first half he was more differential. How much is that by design? How much of that do you think is like flow for him? And then how, just from what you've seen from him, how does he kind of let his game evolve as the game goes on to adjust as the game progresses?
Well, yeah, I think he picks his spots, and you have to really ask him that. But I think he picks his spots. You know, when to be assertive, and when to play for his teammates. And you know, throughout all that, and you know, while he's picking spots, he's going to be in attack mode and he's going to read defense. I mean, that's simply what it is. And a lot of times early on, everybody's geared into him. They're bringing a lot of help, so he's just making the right play. It's not about am I going to be assertive or passive. You know, he's just being in attack mode and reading defense. So I think it's just about that.
Last question, Kyle.
What did JaVale give you in those first and third quarter minutes tonight?
He was terrific. You know, he starts the game for us, and you know, obviously gives us the rim protection and length at the basket. I mean, 35% was really good, but you know, those Dwight and JaVale are both doing a good job getting out to the three-point line as well. You know, and you need that in today's NBA. This is the number one three-point shooting team in the NBA, and we held them to 17%. You know, that's 5 guys committed to that. So JaVale's keeping balls alive offensively. He's a lob threat at the basket. You have to guard him down there. And, you know, he was a big impact in that third quarter. We usually get him out about the 6 or 7 minute mark, and he was playing so well, we rolled him down to the 3-4 minute mark.